Hello, my diamonds and my Teletubbies. This is why setting healthy boundaries means losing fake friends. Lose friends, but gain yourself. Like I said, someone sent me this video. I'm scratching my head right now because I'm just like so drained and I'm so tired of this, just trying to, when it comes to your adult children, it's just draining. Anyway, someone sent me this video and they want me to make a video in response, a response video. Like I said, I never make these type of videos and all I do is respond to them. That's pretty much what it is. And this is my son who's gorgeous. I'm looking at him with his little wife beater shirt. They call it wife beaters. That's a horrible name to call a shirt. And he's beautiful. His eyebrows, what? His bone structure, his cheeks, everything about this man is perfection. At the same time, wow. Let's continue with part 2, honey. I'm so tired of this. 18 years, 20 years, battling the same thing with me, trying to get my son to understand I'm not your enemy. I'm your friend. I love you. You are amazing. You remind me of Jesus Christ in a lot of ways. Well, you used to remind me of Jesus Christ because he was so like, just walk into a room, man. And you know that kind of energy when you can feel people's energy? His energy was total sunshine. It was total radiance. It was total just walking in and you felt this freaking presence. 6'3", and gorgeous. On a scale of 1 to 10, he's an easy 15, like I said. But now that he's been hanging out with his sister, he's starting to become this dark person, and I don't even recognize this. At the same time, he's brilliant. And he's an excellent, I got to give him credit, he's an excellent communicator. He's just got some things twisted a little bit. And if he would exercise a little humility, respect the Bible says, do not forsake the instruction of your mother. It says that for a reason. For a reason. But let's listen, honey. Part 2.
Path alone. I'll keep my money and I'll keep my dignity. And that will be my solace as I sit in this season of solitude.
Hold on a minute.
On your passivity in order to...
Hold on, this is part 2. Go ahead.
You have to be comfortable being alone. Or else you're going to find yourself so desperate for friendships that you compromise your values, principles, and morals.
Yep, he's right.
You have to be okay with saying, I'm good. I'm good. You go right ahead. Because a lot of people, what they'll try to do is they'll try to capitalize on your discomfort with setting boundaries. They know that you won't stand up. They know that you won't say anything because you don't want to be that kind of friend. You don't want to be the nag. You don't want to be that kind of friend. And they rely on your passivity in order to fund their dysfunction and their grandiosity. Because a lot of people like to feel superior. And by finessing you out of something, it makes them feel superior. But once again, you have to learn how to say, I'm good. I'm okay with being alone. I'll walk this path alone. I'll keep my money.
I hate the terminology alone. I'm okay alone. You're only alone when you don't have any family, when you don't have any friends. That to me is being alone. Now, when you use the word solo, I fly solo like eagles. Look at the beauty of an eagle. They have their powerful wings. It's a strong bird, and they fly solo. And then you look at pigeons and hawk. You look at the pigeons, and you look at what is this other bird that they have out here where they have to flock together? An eagle don't need to flock with no one, sweetheart. They fly solo. And yes, I have family that love me, and I have friends. Friends from when I was 16. So am I really alone? Or am I flying solo because I choose peace? I choose freedom. I love freedom. Like the eagle flies freely. Tell me freedom don't feel good. I don't want no marriage. I don't want no ball and chain. No, thank you. I'll pass on that. I love having extra energy. So when my family, my children, they need me, I have the energy to just show up. Not only do I show up, I will show child, when it comes to my children, I will show out. And when it comes to my brother, and when it comes to Teresa, yeah, I would just, whatever. At the same time, I like making progress in my life. I like having joy and peace. How can we even present words that can describe peace? I don't like drama. I don't want no chaos. I don't want no stress. I don't want this is popping off. He has an attitude. He's on Instagram. He's looking at women. Just go on divorce court, honey. Nobody needs that kind of life. Twisted crimes. Viral crimes. How about this? Dr. Phil. Look at these relationships. Who wants to sign up for that? No, I will definitely choose to fly solo. And like my son is saying here, he's right. You have to be comfortable with that. Learning how to say, no, I'm not going to let you take advantage of me. That's so not going to happen. And he has boundaries. I just asked him, look, honey, I respect what you're saying, but your boundaries sometimes is a bit much. I'm not allowed to see things differently. I'm not allowed to feel differently than you. See, I got to feel different, the same as you. I have to be a brown noser. I can't do that and be a good mother at the same time. No, that's so not going to happen. Let's continue to listen to this brilliant man. I love him. And do I miss him? Incredibly. Like you can't imagine. That was my buddy. That was my bestie. My male bestie anyway. Definitely one of my besties. He's funny as hell. God knows he should have a comedy show of his own. He's gorgeous. Scale of 1 to 10, I always said an easy. And I do mean an easy 15. He busts the charge. He's gorgeous. And when it comes to a communicator, he's very, very well spoken, very articulate. He's very articulate, and he's like, child, please. Yeah, there's just some areas that he needs to work on. Stop being so hard on people, for one. The fake and phony nonsense. Take that mask off when you meet people, honey. No more meeting the representative. No, you're going to meet the real me. That's what I'm trying to get him to understand. Meet the real me. Straight out the gate. And when it comes to this Jehovah's Witness thing, do I respect your religious belief? Absolutely. How can I not? I was a Jehovah's Witness for 55 years of my life. At the same time, you have to respect my spirituality too. And when I get on my social media and I talk about these Jehovah's Witnesses, I'm talking about 55 years. Don't you think 55 years of my life, I should be allowed to talk about it and the experiences that's going on and the dark side of Jehovah's Witnesses? They got so many videos out here. I'm not the only one who's making these videos. If you don't like these videos, simply don't look at those. Don't look at those ones. You know what I mean? Don't. But I have a lot of other amazing things like my power thoughts, my Bible verses for the day, motivation, and Bible trivia. How well do you really know your Bible? I have that on my channel too. Because I feel that Bible verses a day, it keeps stupidity away. Just take 10 minutes a day to play a Bible trivia game on your phone. That's what I also talk about. I have a lot of that on my channel too. You want to sit here and get bent out of shape because I want to talk about my life experience as a Jehovah's Witness. Oh no. I'm very angry with that Jehovah's Witness organization. I have my grandchildren who are agnostic. What? That's close to being an atheist. Am I totally outraged and upset with that? Yes, I am. I am. That's freaking me out. My daughter wants to run the show. Okay, you run the show, and let's see how your show turned out. You sit up here and you got my grandchildren agnostic. Really? Do I have issues with that? Yeah, I do. I really do. Does that break my heart? Yeah, it does. But let's continue.
And I'll keep my dignity. And that will be my solace as I sit in this season of solitude. Because I realize that constantly giving out and constantly shelling out and constantly going above and beyond for people who are not doing that for you, it leads to resentment. It leads to disappointment. It leads also to this feeling of anger at yourself, like you're pissed at yourself.
Is he correct when he says this? Yeah, it does lead to resentment, because I have resentment to a bit, man, almost leading to hatred, because when I keep pouring into these children, trying to make up for my past mistakes, I keep trying to apply Philippians chapter 3, verse 12 through 15. Leave the past in the past. And the more I keep trying to fix things, excuse me, my mouth is like, whatever. You don't want to let me fix it. You want to keep hanging on to the past. And yeah, that leads to resentment. I'm bending over backwards. My tubies and my diamonds. Trust me when I tell you, I'm bending over backwards, trying to do nice things for them. I was being a yes, and I even got to the point where I was telling my son, you know what? You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Do I feel that he's right? Not particularly, no, but I was like, yes, you're right. And that was just freaking me. It was making me sick. And then when I have a glass of wine or some wine, let's say I go past 3 glasses of wine, then that's when everything comes out. Then I start to speak without a filter. And now I'm going to let you know how I really felt about, no, not really. Do I curse at them? No. They're my children. Have I ever slipped up with the profanity or colorful language, if you will? Yes, I have slipped up. And I've said something, I don't know, not proper. But that's a rarity. Do you hear me? A rarity. At the same time, I don't sit up there and sometimes my voice elevates, because when I'm passionate about something, my voice elevates, and I'm mindful of it though. So I'll bring it back down. I'll say, okay, if somebody can hear me in the other room, then I know that I'm talking too loud. So then what do? I lower my volume, and I'm working on it. I'm doing so much. That's hard to do, to be honest with you. When you're a passionate person, do I curse them out? Do I call them out of their name like you MFer, you no good, low life? No, never would I do that to my children. Never. Even if I had a cocktail too many, I'm not going to sit up there and call my children out of their name. But what I will do is tell the truth, like you're fake, you're phony, take off the mask, let go of the veneers, and let's just keep this real here. I mean, can we talk, Joan Rivers? Can we talk? It's called communication. Let's continue.
Because you sat up there and betrayed yourself. You know? I always say that at the end of the day, you have to come home to you.
Yep.
If you can't look at yourself in the mirror and feel proud of your reflection, of the man or woman that's reflected in the mirror, then that's where your work begins. How can you look yourself in the mirror and be proud of what you see? Because at the end of the day, you come home to you. You won't feel proud if you're constantly being overly generous, overly involved in everybody else's life, and no one's involved in yours.
That's my point. He's got a good point. That's the way I feel. How can you look yourself in the mirror knowing how you talk so badly about your mother on social media? How do you look in the mirror and you feel comfortable with that? How do you look yourself? This is what I was saying when I left that Jehovah's Witness organization. How can I look myself in the mirror and be comfortable knowing that I'm destroying families? I mean, if you have a healthy family and you come into this organization, you won't have a healthy family anymore. They're going to tear your family up from the bottom to the middle, all the way to the top. They're going to destroy your family, honey. Now they don't celebrate holidays. I don't care about the holiday thing, But what I do care about and I love Thanksgiving. Families get together, and if you see the way my bestie celebrates Thanksgiving, you're going to be like, this is so spiritual and it's so beautiful, because she's a beautiful human being anyway. Thanksgiving, I got issues with. And when it comes to celebrating your birthday, the Bible even shows how Job and their family, each one had their own day. And when you read it from different translations, it says their birthday. They celebrated their birthday. And when it comes to Mother and Father's Day, honey, come on now. Come on. How can you demonize that when the Bible very clearly says that we're supposed to honor our parents, celebrate your parents, and they want to demonize that too? And you want to be a part of an organization that says it's okay to have children who have been raped, abused, and because there were not two witnesses there to witness it, okay, we're going to take this not to the authorities. No, we're going to run and take it to the elders. And the elders take it to the legal department of the governing body. What? No, we're going to take this to the authorities who are qualified, who are trained to know how to handle this, but not the Jehovah's Witnesses. Oh no, you got to hide that, honey. You got people who have cerebral palsy, not cerebral palsy, sickle cell anemia, and they need constant blood transfusions, and you're letting people become unalived because they can't take a blood transfusion when Jesus Christ made it. Jesus teachings, okay? Not governing bodies teachings, Jesus teachings. There's a time when you have to put the law to the side when it comes to saving a human life. And Jesus Christ gave that demonstration. On the Sabbath day, if you see your animal who has fallen into a hole, and you know on the Sabbath you're not supposed to work. Because if you're caught working even a little bit, you are supposed to be unalived. Which one of you, he said, will not work on the Sabbath to save that animal's life? You're going to work and you're going to get that animal up. He made it clear that when it comes to saving a life, honey, you have to put the law to the side. And that's not even the law. It was talking about animal blood. But then when you ask Jehovah's Witnesses to look into these things, they don't want to look into it. Why don't you want to sit down with me before you throw me away as your mom? Okay. Do I respect your religious beliefs? Absolutely. Yes, I do. At the same time, I have to ask you the same question. Do you respect my spiritual beliefs? I'm doing what I'm commissioned to do. Expose false teachers and false prophets. Why do you think Jehovah's Witnesses are making so many changes now? It's because of people like me. The XJW community. Now they're coming up with a new light. It's not a new light, sweetheart. It's because you're being sued in the courts. Where the hell is Toni Morrison? You know, he was anointed. You know what? The last time we saw Toni Morris, I think, yeah, he was in the liquor store buying 8 bottles of scotch or whiskey. 8 bottles. And then all of a sudden, you have the body camera. Somebody was in the store where he was at, and they had on the body cam, and they was recording everything about his wife. She also drinks this, and she's a drinker, and he's a drinker. And all of a sudden, we see Toni Morris is gone. All of his videos have been taken down. What's going on? He's anointed. He's one of the 144,000. Right? Is anybody trying to question that? Like I said, with being a Jehovah's Witness, you're going to have alcohol issues, or you're going to be abusing your medication. It's either that, or you're going to be walking around looking like my aunt. I tell you, my aunt Juanita, she passed already, so that's why I could use her name. She's gone. She had the most miserable look on her face and in her eyes. She was diabetic. She lost her sight. Did the Jehovah's Witness step up to help her? No. My brother stepped up. Michael, Putin, and Jean. I remember those 3 were the ones who stepped up to help Aunt Juanita. Jehovah's Witnesses were nowhere around. And I look in these people's eyes. I always look at the eyes. I've been looking in my daughter's eyes, and she reminds me of Aunt Juanita. I know that's not my daughter. My daughter, child, please. Another one who's an easy 15 on your eyes. That girl is hot as hell. But yet when you look at her, she has this gloom and this doom and this darkness. What? A mother knows her child. And my children are not, no, with this Jehovah's Witness garbage. Let's continue.
See, the thing about it is this. When you start to vibrate at a higher frequency, here's the truth. When you start to vibrate at a higher frequency, sometimes that tuning fork and the sound that reverberates off that fork will be too much for people's ears. They can't deal with the sound of your improvement. They can't deal with the sound of your elevation. It's too much for them, so they have to leave. And in my estimation, it's the trash taking itself out.
I hear you. Yeah.
It's the trash taking itself out. Let them go.
Yep, he's right.
If they can't tolerate the sound of your elevation, they're not meant to be in your life. Because real friends, when they're real, they want to grow with you. They see that you're doing something and they want to be a part of it too, because they see that it's making you better. Real friends love and respect your boundaries.
Yes, my thing is, if you're a real friend, how come you couldn't love and respect my boundaries? And I will always have your back. I mean, I'm a mother. You die for your kids, man. You ready to be on the line for those kids. But this is what I'm saying. He talks a good game, but he doesn't practice anything that he preaches. Like he talks about consistency. When are you consistent? I asked you to help me get a sponsor. Instead, you help me to find a group of women who all they do is drink, eat, and look for men. I'm sorry. And then I asked you, you went with me to one fellowship meeting, okay, and then in the same breath, you talk about consistency. Where are you consistent? Especially when it comes to helping out your mom. Come on, because why should you help out your mother? Because you know damn well she'll do it for you. Let you be in a position that she's in. Do you think, first of all, let me, if my son had an alcohol issue, do you think that I would be at every AA meeting, every Al-Anon meeting, every moderation management meeting that he needs me to be at? I would be at every single one of them. Do you think that if my daughter was in crisis and she had some situations, I wouldn't be there sitting right next to her? Yes, I would. I would. And my thing is, my love language is reciprocity. Why aren't you willing to do that for me? Why is that such a huge problem? Don't ask of people to do things for you that you're not willing to do for them. My whole life is based on treat people the way you want to be treated. Don't do to people what you don't want done to you. And I'm trying to get my children to get this part. They don't seem to get it. Whatever, child. But he is speaking facts. You have to be prepared to fly solo when people are trying to take advantage of you. You have to cut them off. I'm done. I can't be so bothered. No, hell no. It's not just no, it's hell no. Bye-bye. B-I-T-C-H. And I'm trying to be nice here. Really?
They love the fact that these boundaries keep you safe because they see that your boundaries make it easier for you to love them better. Huh. They have the insight and the discernment to understand that. Fake friends, they get mad at you when you set boundaries, when you tell them no.
That's not true. No, I have to say to my son, that's not true. Now, you see, I agree with him in areas that I can't agree with. Fake friends, they get mad at you when you set boundaries. No, people get mad at you when you set unreasonable boundaries. Boundaries that are ridiculous. You don't allow people to be human. People are imperfect. Oh my God, if I could get him to understand that part. 80-20. Why do you think they came up with the 80-20? I did research on the 80-20, and that's another video because that's deep. But yeah, when people do the 20, you ready to say you disrespect my boundary. And I am never going to stop saying this, yo. If my son looks at this video, please make your boundaries reasonable. Reasonable. Don't sit up here and tell people that they have to become brown nosers. Your name in itself on your channel, El Majesty. Now, if my son could hear this, El Majesty, what does that tell you right off the bat, right out the gate? El Majesty, bow down to me, agree with me. You're not entitled to your feelings. You got to feel the way I feel. And don't you dare ever step to me without praise, because my name is El Majesty. You're supposed to validate me morning, noon, and night. How dare you put a mirror up to me and make me and force me to see myself for who I really am? How dare you? And another thing, El Majesty, come on now. You need to lighten up when it comes to parents when you have no children. What do you know about raising children? Can you raise a dog, a cat, whatever? Come on, El Majesty. You want me to bow down? Okay, I'm going to bow down to some extent, a little bit. Come on, at least I'm going to bow down to reality and being realistic. You have nothing but a bunch of audacity. You have a lot of audacity to talk badly about parents and you have no children. Are we serious? El Majesty. And the way you talk and speak about older people, people getting old, you act, El Majesty, like you're never going to get old. Again, I have to question that. And my question is, are you serious? Or is this like some kind of fluke? Or is this like a stand-up comedy session here? Stop sitting around and thinking that people are not entitled to their feelings, because that crosses your boundaries. I'm not entitled to my own my thoughts. And I have to put big, huge emphasis. As long as a person is not yelling at you, because you know how your mom can be, and my voice elevates, but you know I'm mindful of it, and I always bring myself back down. You've experienced that with me. They're not screaming at you. They're not using profanity at you. They're not calling you out of your name. Then El Majesty, by all means, let people share their feelings with you. It's called communication. It's not confrontation in an argumentative way. They're not being argumentative. They're just merely having a conversation. It's called communication. You go back and forth, back and forth. I should be allowed to tell you the way I see it and my viewpoint without you getting bent out of shape and accusing people of being abusive. You don't know how to talk to anybody. What? Does your mother understand that? No. I totally don't. I'm sorry, and I'm working like a dog. Like a dog, the way I say dog, right? I say dog, because it's like a cute thing. I think dogs are cute, and it's like a dog to try to get you, dude. People are falling away. Anytime you can actually have your mother leave and fall back from you, that alone should say, you know what? Something ain't right. I got to check myself out. I need to use some critical thinking. That's what you need to do. You need to use some critical thinking, and you need to do some meditation and some self-reflection. And please, please, for the love of Jehovah God and Jesus Christ, by means of the Holy Spirit, please, child, have some self-awareness. Everything you accuse people of, you're describing you. Are you going to listen to your mom? Are you going to go back and check out the videos that you've made and say, wow, the things that I've been saying, blah, 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 that's me. I'm describing me. That's all I'm asking. Do I love my son? He's amazing. He's beautiful. He's a great communicator. Do I love my daughter? Like you can never imagine the word love. Of course I do. At the same time, there's some areas for improvement. That's all I'm saying. Twinkle, twinkle, twinkle.